So now that we've gone through pretty extensively price elasticity of demand, let's look at some of the other elasticity measures out there. So the first one we have is the income elasticity of demand. And income elasticity of demand is basically looked at the same way as price elasticity of demand. It's a measure of how the quantity demanded of a good responds to a change in income. Other things the same. So how do you measure it? It's the percentage change in the quantity demanded over the percentage change in income. Now, we're not going to go through all the calculations again, but because basically it's done the same way as with price elasticity of demand. All right, so it's going to be income elasticity of demand. It's going to be Q0 minus Q1 over Q0 plus Q1, whereas the percentage change in the quantity, should be percentage change in income. Mistake. All right, so the percentage change in income is going to be the calculated as income 0 minus income 1 over income 0 plus income 1. Okay, so it's calculated the same way, but this is the basic idea. Now, the one thing you'll see here is that there's no absolute value sign. When that's the case, that means that we're taking the value as is. Now, unlike price elasticity of demand, the income elasticity can be positive or negative. So what does that mean? Okay. So let's say that the income elasticity is greater than 0. All right, it's positive. So what does that mean? That means that as income goes up, quantity demanded goes up. As income goes down, quantity demanded goes down. So basically, income and quantity demanded go together. It's called a normal good. All right, so basically, the more money you have, the more you buy something. Less money you have, the less you buy something. All right, we talked a little bit about this with demand. So an example of this would be our steak dinners over here. Okay. The more money, if you like steak. So the more money you have, the more you will go out for steak dinners. Okay. Positive income elasticity. Now, I'm not talking about the scale of if it's going to be, large or small, but I'm just saying if it's positive. Let's look at the other side. All right, let's say your income elasticity is negative, to where it's less than 0. That's saying as your income goes up, your quantity demanded goes down. As your income goes down, your quantity demanded goes up. So what that means then is, all right, you have more money, you're buying less of something. We call that an inferior good. And the example is ramen noodles. As college students, a lot of times people have things that are not very desirable always, but they're cheap. Ramen noodles is an example. Lots of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are examples, and so forth. So the idea is that as you graduate and as you go out, you start making money, you stop eating your ramen noodles because you go out and you eat, regular noodles or whatever else. Okay, so the more money you make, the less you buy of it. Inferior good. So that's the income elasticity of demand. The next one we have is the cross elasticity of demand, otherwise known as the cross price elasticity of demand. So the cross elasticity of demand compares two products. And the official definition is a measure of the responsiveness of demand for a demand of a good to a change in the price of another good, substitute or complement, other things equal. So basically what it's doing is it's looking at the effect on the quantity demanded of one good, let's say good A, in response to a change in the price of another, good B. So good B changes. All right, the price of good B changes. What's the effect on good A? Quantity of good A. All right. So here as well, we go back here, you don't see the absolute value sign. It's not always going to be positive, not always going to be negative. but it's important. It's very important to understand how two goods are related. So for example, let's say the cross price elasticity of demand is greater than 0. If this is the case, the goods are substitutes. So if we think about it, so if the cross price elasticity of demand is 0, it's saying that as the price of one good goes up, people buy less of that good, and because they're substitutes, you have one for the other. If they're buying less of the one good, they're going to buy more of the other. Right? So the example here is hot dogs and hamburgers. And so if the price of a hot dog goes up, people are going to buy less hot dogs, and they're going to buy in return more hamburgers. So the price of the hot dog goes up, the quantity demanded of hamburgers goes up. So that's where you get that positive relationship. Okay. The other side of that is if the cross price elasticity is negative, if it's less than 0. That is the case with complement goods. And so with complement goods, all right, so let's say peanut butter and jelly. Right, so people buy peanut butter and jelly together. Right. It could also be nice shirts and nice pants are bought together. Paper and pens are bought together. Printers and ink cartridges are bought together. These are all complements. So with peanut butter and jelly, because you buy them together a lot of times. So if the price of peanut butter goes up, people are going to buy less peanut butter. If they're buying less peanut butter, they're also going to buy less jelly. So the price of peanut butter goes up, and as a result, the quantity demanded of jelly goes down. Negative relationship. So that's the cross price elasticity of demand. And again, with the cross price, it's calculated the same way, with the percentage change in quantity, percentage change in price. Yeah. So the last one we have here is the price elasticity of supply. So so the first three look at the demand side, all right, look at the quantity demanded. The fourth one looks at the quantity supplied. And so it looks at the responsiveness of the quantity supplied to a change in the price of the good, all the influences remaining the same. Percentage change in quantity supplied over percentage change in price. Now this number is always going to be positive because you remember your upward sloping supply curve, and as price goes up, quantity supply goes up. Right? Price goes down, quantity supply goes down. So this is just a measure there. So overall, we have our 4 types of elasticity, right? And all those elasticities measure responsiveness. The price elasticity of demand measures responsiveness of a change in price, or responsiveness of the change in quantity to a change in price. Income elasticity looks at how quantity demanded is impacted by income. Cross price elasticity looks at how the demand for one good is affected by the price of another. And the price elasticity of supply looks at how quantity supplied is impacted to a change in the price.